Groaners, welcome along to episode 99, one away from a centennial of groaning, but that is next week. Let's focus on episode 99, shall we? If you don't know where you are, by the way, you're listening to the Groan Zone. The lost groanish souls of groans past summon us. Let's see if we can satisfy their hunger. We have lots of the sections you know, and also the games which are yes or BS, Gimme the question, and our weekly pictorial game of who, what, or where the hell am I? No hesitations now, let's get this Groans On episode started with some creepy for a change. Admin Nicole kicks us off with a creepy story which is called Time After Time. Time after time, century after century, Dr. Barnabas Quack has undergone many faces, many forms, and even more names. Long before the Great War and the land rejoined as one, long before an era of magic and the realm slowly bleeding into this one or staying just out of reach. A time back when life was ordinary, mundane even. Somehow, despite being forced to follow the cosmic laws, Dr. Barnabas Quack found a loophole. It was way back when the world followed time more closely, when they went by months and years. A long forgotten past, and to many in the present, it's nothing more than a strange concept that made no sense. Bartholomew Badgerton was born in 1955. On the inside, a gifted child. On the outside, he was nothing more than a fool. He was quick to learn new things and adapt to certain situations. Yet the more he learned, the more he realised where he belonged. He never let his brain show. He failed test after test. Some he would barely pass. This kept him under the radar. Anyone who dared to bully him would become part of his experiments in the abandoned quarry on the outskirts of town. They would never remember, of course, since he wiped the events from their minds every time. Bartholomew learned all he could about everything. He knew deep down he had a higher calling, to be the one to stand on top, not as a god, but something more, something higher than that. He knew in his heart that this was his destiny. He would get himself work as a janitor or delivery driver, anywhere that would give him the information and resources he required. He was planning something big, the start of his life. Working in science labs in town meant he had a key, which meant no one could suspect him of anything. He experimented and researched the stars, science, and destruction. He was meant for more, and he was fine destroying the world in the process, to wipe the slate clean as often he saw it. As one would expect, every villain needs a sidekick. To Bartholomew, that was one Romeo Quackerton. Bartholomew wasn't always evil or broken though. It was his mother's dying message to him that he would accomplish greatness beyond his own imagination. That made him think of where his true potential and purpose lied, and began everything. The day of the funeral, a small duck egg was drowning in a nearby puddle from all the rain. Bartholomew took it in, and that duck never left his side. In his mind, if he could stand atop the world and rule over them, then maybe he could finally destroy the cosmic laws. Then everything would be his choice. A twisted ideal, but for the first few centuries, he meant well even with a slightly twisted mind. At the age of 44, he was finally ready for his plan. It was December 31st, 1999, the year everyone became afraid of the new millennium. The year the new millennium never came. Not for this town anyway, or anywhere in a 20-mile radius. Bartholomew deduced that if he could wipe out the town on such an important day, then he might be able to rip a hole into whatever else might be living out around them. Just to take priority to save himself and Romeo, he created a cryo-freeze chamber. He had no specific date set and left it to destiny. He hoped that when they woke, they would see whatever was just out of reach. It was 100 years they were frozen for, but when he awoke, he saw people in lab coats all around him. This was his chance to be someone new, to figure out what happened to the town and what comes next for him. The only problem was his mistrust in his new scientists as they claimed to be. When he woke, he realised Romeo wasn't with him. The scientist told him that the duck woke up earlier and it took him away to make sure he was alright and to feed him. It was a brief moment, but just for a second, Bartholomew dropped his guard. That duck was everything to him after all. His most faithful companion, someone he would do anything for. When they sat down to eat, Bartholomew was concerned by what he was told was chicken. The laughs of the scientist didn't help him either, and he demanded to know what they fed him. Of course, as a mere joke, they told him that they cooked his precious duck, and thanked him for finding them some food. Bartholomew flew into a rage, and with a knife in hand, that was the last meal those scientists would ever eat. He ran all over the outpost he appeared to be in. Outside was nothing but snow and ice. They must have been a distance from a town or a city. In a room full of machines and vats, he spotted his duck. That unmistakable scar on his wing when he learned to fly could not be forgotten. That's when Bartholomew saw what the scientists had accomplished. How to change animals into humans. Yet they couldn't do it the other way around. Also, a bunch of experimental elixirs. One to make you younger, one to freeze your body to your current appearance forever. Bartholomew wasted no time in downing both, and assuring his precious Romeo that he would never let any harm come to him. He placed the duck in the machine and followed the instructions. The scientist kindly left for him. Unfortunately, the end few pages were glued together, and all he could make out from the corners were the words caution and warning. But it didn't matter. This would all be useful for the grand plan. He would deal with any consequences after. While he waited for the machine to finish, he found a pile of books they must have been reading. One was about cooking with malt vinegar. Another was about an escaped animal from the circus named Lionel. When the machine beeped and smoke poured out, Romeo Quackton was nowhere to be found. In his place was just a young baby with the exact same scar sat in a pile of duck feathers. You know, as shocking as that may sound, an animal being morphed into a human, I still cannot get over last week's twist ending to the story. New characters this week, Nicole. Never heard of Quackerton before, or Romeo Quackerton. Although, of course, we've all heard of Barnabas Quack. Got anything special written for next week, Nicole? I bet she has, Groaners. I bet she has. More creepy to come next week. Now over to my groans. I'll get straight to it. When one declares bankruptcy, wait, hear me out, they then go on spending sprees, etc, etc. How are you flipping bankrupt? This isn't Monopoly, where the bald top hat wearing dude gives you 200 quid each time you pass go. I don't understand the whole celeb bankrupt thing, then suddenly they aren't. Ugh! When you're out with people who don't know when to stop. So you go in the town, or wherever, and you've had your fill of drink. But unfortunately, the people you are out with drink alcohol like it no longer exists or it's going out of fashion. Sadly, they keep trying to buy you drinks, or buy you drinks anyway, and won't take no for an answer. I'm sorry, no. I've had enough, and I'm bored of drinking it. Give me peace, or I'll go home. And lastly, my microphone. This trusty microphone has been with me since I did a 3-person podcast a year or so before this Groan Zone started. Sadly, due to fallout, I had to leave that podcast. Further sadness is that the metal arm of this microphone has a mind of its own, and will keep dropping no matter how many times I prop it up. Annoying! Do not make me go and buy another microphone, fella. Behave yourself, microphone. Well, off they go, swallowed whole by the Groan Zone. Bye-bye, my groans. Not to worry, groaners. As always, we'll let one of you take the floor later with your groan. From groans now, we leap over to games with our first game, which is Gimme the Question. Are you groaners live ready? They are. If you're playing at home, don't forget, I'll give you the cue when to pause. Round 1. Your answer is Sanquois. That's Sanquhar. Your questions are: A. What is the name of a local Indian dialect in the Punjabi region? B. Where is the world's oldest post office situated? C. What was the name of Wales's largest nightclub, which sadly was closed due to repercussions from COVID in 2022? Go Groaners Live, give me your answers. You're playing at home, Groaner? You press pause now, you answer, you unpause. What you got, Groaners Live? Give me them. Bees are flying in. Any more Groaners? Everyone's flying in with B. B. A couple of C's there. And a couple of A's. Any more Groaners before we move on to the next round? Any more? I think some people aren't sure. Sorry, moving on. Round 2. Your answer is 1920. Your questions are: A. What year was the first commercial radio broadcast? B. What year did the Wright brothers crash their first plane? Or C. What year did Hitler begin making preparations to take over Germany? Go Groaners Live, what you got? Groaner at home, press pause now, answer unpause. Oh, someone changed their mind there. Okay, we have a massive outpouring of C coming in there. Okay, any more? Nope, everyone's gone flown in the hats for C. Okay, round 3 coming now. Your answer is Wolfia globosa. And no, that's not a Harry Potter spell. WOLFFIAGLOBOSA. Your questions are: A. What African disease rivals HIV infections in South Africa? B. What name is given to the world's smallest fruit? Or C. What is the Latin name given to water amoeba? Groaner at home, press pause now. I'm playing live. Give me your answer now, please. C's flying in. C's flying in across the board. B's flying in now. Our first split of the day. C's and B's. Yep, all flying in there. Everyone's throwing the hats right in there. I hear you loud and clear, Groaners. Okay. Think you got any right? I'll reveal it all later. Luck may just be on your side. However, it wasn't for our next hapless hero. I guess they were, unlucky! This poor fella's name was Li Bai, who expired on the 30th of November in the year 762. He was a famous Chinese poet of the 8th century. He died drunk after attempting to embrace the moon. Yes, Groaner, you heard me right. How, you might ask? And why does this sound like it belongs on Double Down Dummies? Wait again, Groaners. He was riding his boat along the Yangtze River when he saw the reflection of the moon in the water. When he tried to hug it, he fell off his boat and later drowned. Poor swine was just too drunk to swim and too unlucky to not get a moon hug back. Honestly, I couldn't stop laughing when I read this the first time. That sounds morbid, I don't mean to laugh at someone's misfortune. But how daft does one need to be? Don't attempt to give the moon a hug, Groaners. You're not going to get anywhere with doing that. Moving on now, I have a question we've all asked in our lives. Of course, it's why oh why? Many of you may or may not know there is a place in the UK known as Brixton. And of course, there are many businesses there with Brixton in their name. Brixton LLC is a company in the USA who have targeted a UK firm known as Brixton Streetwear for having the word Brixton in their name. They also have no ties to Brixton at all and want Streetwear to pay for the hearing, which could be tens of thousands of dollars or pounds. What, are they then going to attack every other Brixton business and then the town of Brixton itself? Sorry to American people, I know we've got lots of listeners over there, but the people who run this company should be made aware they cannot copyright a town name. More so if the business has been going longer than they have. Silly lawsuits. I just have to ask, why oh why? And copyrighting place names, why oh why? I fancy another game now. Yep, we're going straight into it. So let's play some Yes or BS. Round 1. The first played boxing round. A. The first volleyball game was played on February the 4th, 1832? B. The first ever televised cricket match was played between England and India in 1937? Or C. The longest boxing match lasted for 110 rounds in 1893? Remember, groaners, before you answer, you must avoid the BS statements. If you pick that, heaven help you. Go Groaners live, give me your answer. Those at home, throw your answer into the ring now. What you got, Groaners live? A is flying in there. Any more Groaners? A is flying in more, okay. Yep, we're going A heavy. Any more Groaners before we move on? Couple of B's and a C. Okay. Moving on, round 2. The recognised yellow whales round. A. The worst flood in history was in China on the Yellow River in 1887. B. The USA has 596 recognised Native American tribes which speak 224 languages. Or C. The word Wales, as in the same as the country that is part of the UK, actually means interloper. Same as before, Groaners. Give me your answers, please. Those at home, pause, throw your hat in, unpause. Or answer, I should say. C's and A's flying in this week, Groaners, for this one, round 2. Okie dokie. Any more? Couple more A's, a B and a C. Okay. Round 3. The Anything Big Chef round. A. Goats will eat anything. B. The Big Dipper is the name given to the biggest constructed canoe in the world. C. Jean-François Piloteri de Rosière was a French chef who was executed for not cooking Louis XIV steak to his liking. Go Groaners live, answers please. Playing at home, pause, answer, unpause. What you got for me, Groaners? C's flying in. C's going crazy here. A's flying in as well. We're going, is there a spread? People are typing. Is it a full spread? No, we've gone between A and C, and someone's put a B in as well. We have a full spread in the last round. Okay, answers will be coming soon. Remember, if you picked a false, aka BS statement at any point after round 1, assuming you got points in round 1, any yes or BS point you scored is gone. It doesn't affect Give Me the Question. You got points to Give Me the Question, the points are safe. 3, so round 3 is your redemption round if you've lost points in round 1 and 2. Okay? And well, Groaners, you've waited patiently, and now comes your turn to let your groans shine. This week's groan came in verbally from Harley of Benton. Cheers, Harley. He groans. When I forget to go to the shops, getting home then realising, although I have stuff to make a meal, I sadly have no snacks. Gutted every single time. For anyone listening outside the UK, gutted means you're disheartened, sad, unhappy. Oh, Harley, this is the nightmare scenario, and I hate it when I find my cupboard snackless and not topped up. If you let it groan in like Harley did, you can. But how do you do it? You can reach out to us on the following: our email, thegroanzonepod@gmail.com, our Discord channel, The Groan Zone, where we record every Friday at 8:30 PM Greenwich Mean Time, and also loads of different sections on there for all your crazy posts. Our Facebook group, The Groan Zone Podcast. Facebook Messenger, if you know us personally, that's Mystery Groaner, or Nicole Amos, that's Admin Nicole. Verbally, if you know either of us. Lastly, you can comment on any episode and it'll be picked up. Not to forget as well, as your groans, we want your feedback, your ideas, your what does, or why or whys, your lucky or unlucky stories, or your hero or zero of the week nominations. We'll take them all. Moving on, groaners, it's that section of the show where we must name our hero or zero of the week. And oh boy, do we have a zero for you. A broadband company. Personally, I've never heard of them. I'm not going to fully name them. I know it isn't BT, because I don't want to get sued. The company has the word OneStream in their name. And they've had their company pulled from major comparison websites. Why? It turns out they were signing people up to a free trial of NordVPN. If you're not sure what NordVPN is, it's kind of like a private network where you can assure your privacy. Worse still, it was without consent. Not to mention, if the trial isn't ended within 30 days, NordVPN hits the unsuspecting customer with £5 a month. Trading rules state no firm can send a customer up to third-party services without their express consent. Ofcom are now investigating this, and due to this, OneStream are the pick of the zeros this week. Well done, OneStream, for being a very, very shady company. Just before we chase the game answers, we'll round off with our 2-weekly pictorial puzzler. Where the hell am I? Your clue for the country where this monument is I share my name with the surname of a famous basketball player. The picture and clue will appear on Podbean, Facebook group and Discord. You'll get the clue on Spotify and everywhere else, but you may not see the picture. So do go to those other areas and have a look. I'll make sure the picture's posted. Good luck, Groaners. Taking us out is the game answers. From last week, it's Admin Nicole's anagram anxiety. The clue? Cannot say it 3 times. The anagram? BGLQT. The answer? Beetlejuice. Of course, this week we've had Beetlejuice 2 released. Sorry, not this week. Last month, I should say. I'm still buzzing. That's the only anagram I've ever got. And Admin Nicole will testify to that. Yes or BS. Round 1. The first played boxing round. If you're in for A, that's false. It was played on July 7th, 1896. If you're in for B, false. It was between England and Australia in 1938. If you went for C, you got it. The boxing match itself lasted for 7 hours and 19 minutes. My God, can you imagine how exhausted and beat up the fighters were? Round 2, the recognised yellow whales round. If you're in for option A, you're right. Up to 2 million people lost their lives in the flood on the Yellow River in China in 1887. If you went for B, that's false. There are 574 Native American tribes which speak over 300 languages. If you went for C, that's false as well. The word Wales actually means foreigner, fully enough. Hi to people in Wales. Round 3, the Anything Big Chef round. If you're in for option A, I'm sorry, that's a myth. If you're in for B, that's right. It is 105, I keep doing that, 100.5 feet long and weighs in at a staggering 9,979.03 kilograms. I don't know how much that is in pounds for those across the ocean, but that's one heavy canoe. If you went for C, that's actually false. Jean-Francois Piloteri de Rosier was actually the first ever official pilot after manning a tethered Montgolfier balloon in 1783. Lastly, give me the question. Round 1. Your answer was Sanquhar. Your correct question was B. It's in Scotland and has been in operation over 300 years. Round 2. Your answer was 1920. Your correct question was A. It took place on November the 2nd in 1920. Anyone with a media degree will have got that one. Round 3. Your answer was Wolfia globosa. Your correct question was B, and it's also known as duckweed. And that, Groaners, brings us to the end of another show. Hopefully you scored some points along the way and had a bit of enjoyment as well. Don't forget though, it's episode 100, the mega special next week. All the games, that's Yes or BS, Give Me the Question, Double Down Dummies, and the 5-point counter will be played, as well as all the other sections in one massive mega episode. And as an extra blast, Admin Nicole's written the entire episode and I've done the games. See you then, Groaners. You stay groany. Bye bye. where is the world's oldest post... I'll start that one again. How, you might be asked? A. The first flood. Sorry about that, Groaners.